Yo, what's up, everybody? This your boy back at y'all with another one. Shouts out to the whole LDBC Lions Den basketball community. Hit the video like, hit the subscribe, ring the bell whenever I go live. Also, subscribe to the Patreon. I'll leave a link to the Patreon when the stream is over with. All right, so let's talk about this. And before we begin to dive into this particular video here, I want to say something here, man, because I've been noticing a lot of fuckery going on, right? Been noticing a lot of fuckery going on. I'm gonna tell y'all right now, this is not the channel to bring all kinds of fuckery into my channel, right? Now, we come on, we talk about whatever we need to talk about, but this childish shit gonna get your ass blocked. Now, I'm not with no fucking bullshit, so don't bring it over here. Do not bring no bullshit on my channel. What up, TJ? Now, that's my public service announcement. Now, you guys can take it however you want to take it, but don't bring no bullshit on my fucking channel. Now, let's get into the real funk, right? Because I got smoke for one Daniel Cameron. Man, look. This dude gets further exposed by the minute, by the day, by the week. Now, last week, the judge ruled that the grand jurors can come out and speak about the case, right? And after, like 3 hours after that ruling, you had a grand juror make a statement via their attorney about what happened with the case. And now this week, two jurors, right? One black, one white, being interviewed by, you guessed it, Gayle King. Now, I don't know how the hell Gayle King get these interviews or whatever like that, but nonetheless, she did the interview with these two members that was on the grand jury. And they'll tell you way better than I can about what happened in regards to that case. Now, give me a second. I'm going to share my screen here, and we're going to really get into the funk. What's up, Maximus Royalty? Wouldn't you like to know? What's up? I see y'all up in the building. I appreciate y'all for being here today. Eric Johnson, what's up? All right. Now, they'll tell you way better than I can as to what happened in this case. And away we go.
Yes, this morning we begin this half hour with our exclusive interview with two of the grand jurors in the Breonna Taylor case and their attorney, Kevin Lugauer. Taylor was shot and killed in her home during a police raid back in March. One of the officers at the scene, Brendan Hankinson, was fired and charged with wanton endangerment for shooting at the apartment next door. No one was hurt there. But no officers have been charged for Taylor's death. At least one of the officers involved has defended their actions. The jurors told us authorities never presented them with the option to consider indicting officers on more serious charges for Taylor's death, which left them feeling frustrated, disgusted, and even betrayed. Now, we're not revealing their identities at their request for their safety. They didn't give us the charges up front. What they gave us all of their testimony on 20-something times, and then to say that these are the charges that we were good. It's like, what did you just say? And then to be told that for the charges more than anything else, to me, it was betrayal. So when you one and two, and you're told that the only thing you need to consider right now is wanted endangerment, did anyone say, hey, are there any other options here that anybody could hear you say that? Almost entirely. What was the answer that you were given? Basically, in a nutshell, they said there were other things from the charges that we considered. We can basically, they know it was the opposite. Whatever they told me that what the charges were, that's it. That's all. Charges. It was a level 32 problem. That was still charges because all of those officers, or at least different shooters. Why is it so extraordinary? Normally, the grand jurors are presented with the law and the charges so that they can listen to the facts with an open mind and apply those facts to the law, almost as a roadmap. What happened here? What happened here was it was the complete reverse. What stands out to you the most from a legal perspective? It looked like they weren't following the grand jurors, and they only wanted the grand jurors to follow them, which is contrary to the actual rule. Grand juror number 1 and number 2 say what prompted them to ultimately speak out was that press conference held by Kentucky Attorney General Daniel Cameron, which they insist falsely represented their position on potential indictments for the officers involved in Breonna Taylor's death. While there are 6 possible homicide charges under Kentucky law, these charges are not applicable to the facts before us because our investigation showed and the grand jury agreed that Mattingly and Cosgrove were justified in the return of deadly fire. When he stated that there were 6 possible murder charges and that the grand jury had agreed that those didn't apply, the first time I heard the word 6 possible murder charges was in that news conference. It wasn't presented to you in the grand jury deliberations? No. And personally, when I do something, I take responsibility for it. We had not done that. I really felt that this was small Cameron. This was up to him. We didn't get a choice in that at all. So I was living. By the time I heard what he was saying, everything that came out of his mouth, I was saying liar because we didn't agree to anything. We never met Cameron. You've never met Attorney General Cameron? We never met him. He never discussed anything with us. I think many people will be very surprised to hear that they had no contact.
Now hold the fuck up. Hold the fuck up. Hold the fuck up. I had to pause it right there. Did you hear what that juror said? That juror said he never met Daniel Cameron. The grand jury didn't meet the attorney general? Then who the fuck was presenting the case? Daniel Cameron never met the grand jury. Not once. But they somehow agreed that those 6 murder charges that you never presented them because you never met them didn't apply, right? That whole thing was totally justified. You said this about the grand jury. How can you say that about the grand jury that you never met them? This is textbook prosecutorial misconduct. He need to be disbarred. He need to be that group that he running around. That group that's running by him need to be disbanded. He need to be disbarred, and his ass need to be put in jail now. How you gonna sit up there and hold a press conference when you never even met the grand jury? Who the fuck does that shit? Who does that? Daniel Cameron, your ass got exposed. Your ass further got exposed. You're nothing but a fraud. You're nothing but a goddamn charlatan, and you're practicing prosecutorial misconduct. Your ass need to be in fucking jail right now. I don't know why the fuck is taking the special police department in Kentucky to put handcuffs on your fucking hand right now. I don't know why the state of Kentucky is taking so long to disbar your ass. There needs to be a goddamn impeachment going on right now. This is a classic case of a miscarriage of justice going on. You sitting up there talking about you represent the people and all this other, man, get the fuck out of here. This motherfucker, and then he had the nerve to join in on a goddamn antitrust suit from Google. And we all know why he got it on that antitrust suit for Google, because he's trying to direct his attention away from this. But guess what, Daniel Cameron? This isn't going away. This is not going away. I need you to answer the question, Daniel Cameron. Why the fuck did you not meet with the grand jury? A case of this magnitude, when you know it got basically national attention, but then again, that would explain why he never met the grand jury, because he had time to fucking yuck it up at a goddamn wedding reception. Well, it wasn't a wedding reception, but one of those bridal showers. He got time to yuck it up at a bridal shower. He got time to yuck it up at a goddamn Republican National Convention. Meanwhile, the grand jurors pretty much said that you never met them. How the fuck you never met them? Why the fuck you never met them is the bigger question. What was so busy in your schedule where you couldn't meet with the grand jury? Huh? What was so, man? And look at the look on Gayle King's face. Look at the look on Angela Bassenheim's face. That look right there tell you everything you need to know about this shit, man. This case was a sham. This shit was poorly mismanaged. There was no leadership involved. There was all kinds of fucking hodgepodge bullshit going on. As we consistently say over and over and over and over again. This is a hell of, I can't even put into words. What the fuck is this? Man, y'all can't see this is a massive cover-up going on? Why did Daniel Cameron not meet with the grand jury? That's the question I got. Huh? Why did he not meet with the grand jury? A case of this magnitude, you got the whole nation looking at this case. There's protests going on. There's unrest in the community. This stuff got all kinds of attention from the local media to all the way up until the New York Times. And this dude never met with the grand jury. How you going to explain that, Daniel Cameron? How the hell you going to explain not meeting with the grand jury? Let's continue on.
With Attorney General Cameron whatsoever.
I agree, but if you watch the press conference, it seemed clear from the wording that Mr. Cameron was implying that he played a larger role in the actual presentation.
Is that really how it works?
Well, the Attorney General in Kentucky doesn't normally present cases to the grand jury, but I think to answer your question, generally the highest person in the office would at least come introduce themselves to the grand jurors.
Do either of you think there was enough evidence to present charges of murder, attempted murder, manslaughter?
Yes, I think there was. I mean, just all of the evidence there. As we were listening to it, we were sure this was leading up to something like that.
Among the evidence the grand jury heard on the night of the raid was a 911 call from Breonna Taylor's boyfriend, Kenneth Walker. He says he fired a warning shot at who he thought were intruders. Officers returned fire with 32 bullets. The thing that stood out to me when I was talking to him is that why would I call 911 if I thought it was the police?
That resonated with me because he didn't know what it was that was coming in. He had no idea. You could hear the distress. Everything about what he said was believable. It made sense all the way through.
You found him credible?
Yes, totally.
find the police credible?
No, there are too many inconsistencies in their story. And I understand that, in a situation like that, you may not remember, but I didn't find their testimony credible.
What was your understanding about what happened that night?
It was a mess. There didn't seem to me that there was any organization or almost any leadership in the whole operation.
From the evidence that I heard, this thing started out very him to begin with. You don't need 7 cops going to somebody's door and knock on it and say, we're here to do an investigation at 1 o'clock in the morning. They kept going downhill from there. It was one mistake right after the other. They covered it up. That's what the evidence that I saw. And I felt like there should have been lots more charges on that. They covered it.
Now, who told you this shit? Who's been telling you this shit? Me, this guy. Who's been telling you this shit? Me, this guy. Oh, it gets better. It gets way the fuck better. Y'all, man, look. Daniel Cameron need to be fired as Attorney General, right? We are, man, look, it don't take a brain surgeon to see that this shit was a massive cover-up. It don't take a brain surgeon to see that this shit was a cover-up, man. That shit, man, too many lies, too many inconsistencies. The ballistic report. They talk about how Kenneth Walker shot the police officer in the leg, right? Meanwhile, the ballistic report came back and there is no conclusion that the bullet that hit that one police officer in the leg came from Kenneth Walker's gun. Shout out to JoJo Deep East. Carla Jenkins, long time no see. Good to see you, Carla Jenkins. Shout out to Carla Jenkins in the building. The original queen up in here. One of my first supporters. One of my first subscribers, Carla Jenkins. Appreciate you for being up in here. Yeah. This was a massive cover-up. And it all goes back to that bullshit warrant. That bullshit no-knock warrant. That was filed under false pretenses. That bullshit no-knock warrant that was filed under false pretenses to begin with. Who have people have drugs? Who have drugs come through the mail? Let's continue with this interview.
Now, later this morning, former Louisville officer Brett Hankinson is scheduled to be in court for a pretrial hearing on the wanton endangerment charges that he's facing. We did, by the way, reach out to Kentucky Attorney General Daniel Cameron. He did not give us a new statement, but last month he did tell a local Fox affiliate if the jurors had wanted to make an assessment about different charges, they could have done that. The jurors, as you see, just fixed that. Yeah. Jury number 1 is white, jury number 2 is black. It was jury number 1 who was so upset that reached out to attorney Kevin Bogauer because he said, I don't know what to do with this. This is so frustrating.
You can understand why they were livid at the attorney general's house.
Yeah, they were being told that they went along with something that they clearly did not.
And that's what it says. And it took them, they said, under 2 minutes to deliberate on the charges because all they had to consider were the wanton endangerment. We'll talk more with them at 8 o'clock about the toll that it's taken.
But you can obviously, this is just 2 members of the grand jury, we should say, but they had a very different conclusion than
But Andy, I did ask, do you think other jurors feel this way? They said, look, we can't speak for other jurors, but there was an uproar in the room and everybody was unanimous in their anger about the decision.
Well, we don't present to speak for those other jurors either, but it's very clear these jurors were not represented in what the attorney general said. Very.
Daniel Cameron, you're done. You're fucking done. Don't even think about running for any other position in goddamn state of Kentucky. You think you become a governor? Fuck that. You think you could become a senator after that shit that just came out? Fuck that. Your career is over. That's right. Your career is over, just as over as Andrew Gillum getting found in a hotel room, bucket naked, with vomit, drugs, and 2 gay dudes. Yeah, your career is that type of over, motherfucker. You're done. Clearly, I mean, we can go to, I mean, filing a false warrant, right? Because the judge in that case who signed that warrant, when they asked her about it, oh, I'm deeply concerned. Bitch, what the fuck you concerned about? This is goddamn, you should hold that motherfucker in contempt. The motherfucker that presented that bullshit warrant to that judge should have held his ass in contempt. But no, did she do that? No, she's deeply concerned. Bitch, the fuck out of here. No one cares about you being deeply concerned. Do your fucking job. I mean, there's the tampering with evidence because all the shell cases that was on the ground, the police went back to the scene. The same cops that shot Breonna Taylor, they went back to the scene and picked up the goddamn shell cases. Now, why the fuck are you out there picking up shell cases? You ain't supposed to be touching shit in the middle of an investigation. So why is the local? That goes back to the original question I asked. That bullshit no-knock warrant. They based that warrant on false pretenses because they suspected drugs were coming through the mail. First of all, if they have drugs coming through if drugs is coming through the mail, they're not going to the police department. Because last time I checked, the post office is a federal building. That means it would be a federal investigation by the federal government. They're not going to the local police if they're suspecting any kind of wrongdoing with the goddamn mail. Then tampering with evidence. Picking up the shell cases, that's tampering with evidence. Right? Obviously, murder. At the very least, you're getting for involuntary manslaughter. There's all kinds of things wrong. This got one massive cover up. And then let's talk about the damn autopsy report. When the autopsy report came back with no injuries. What the fuck you mean? The girl got 6 bullet holes in her body. What the fuck you mean there's no injuries on the autopsy report? There's all kinds of things wrong with this fucking case. And this paper pusher, this fucking charlatan, shot to my boy J-Dog in the building. Y'all go subscribe to J-Dog 8807. He dropped heat on his channel too, man. Support my brother J-Dog. There's all kinds of things wrong with this case, man. This jury already told y'all this. The jury already told y'all what the fuck's going on. So all these people out here defending these fucking cops and shit, talk about this, that, and the third, shut your asses up. Y'all ain't got nothing to say. Y'all asses done too. We tried to tell you motherfuckers what the fuck was going on. These guys, you had jury number 1, jury number 2, basically told y'all what the play was. They didn't even get offered the charge of murder. Matter of fact, they asked him. They didn't even ask Daniel Cameron because Daniel Cameron was never there. He ain't even met the fucking grand jurors, right? But he asked a member or a representative that went there to present the case. They asked them about murder. The jurors asked them motherfuckers about murder, and that wasn't even an option. Because it went back to the video I talked about a couple weeks ago about Daniel Cameron admitting not offering murder charges. That option was completely off the table. Clearly that was murder there. All them motherfuckers should have been in jail right now. That motherfucker need to be in jail too for prosecutorial misconduct. This is textbook prosecutorial misconduct. How the fuck you can say you did a thorough job when you didn't even look at the warrant? This dude said he didn't even look at the warrant. He said he did a thorough job. What the fuck are you, man? The more I think about this case, the more turned up I get. For real. How can you sit up and say you did a thorough job of this investigation when you didn't even look at the warrant? You didn't even look at how they got the warrant. But see, this is a bigger point here. This case was never about Daniel Cameron going out finding the facts. This case was always about Daniel Cameron getting these cops off. And he was bought and paid for, and his number one job was to get those cops off by hook or by crook. That was Daniel Cameron's sole responsibility. You can't have obvious shit like this play out and they don't get charged with murder or tampering with evidence or falsifying a legal document. I mean, we can go on and on and on. There's like, I can name off 10 fucking charges from this shit. But the only charge one of the police officers get is wanton endangerment. Basically, you fired your round into somebody else's house. That's basically wanton endangerment in a nutshell. J-Dog, I'm right there with you, homie. I'm right there with you. This motherfucker need to be disbarred. His team of prosecutors or whatever like that need to be disbanded, and this motherfucker need to be in jail. Period. This is raw, unadulterated prosecutorial misconduct. And the problem with getting a second group of people, right? Or hiring a special investigator, it has to go through him. That's the problem with hiring a special investigator or having a second grand jury in it. It got to go through him. So it kind of defeats the purpose of getting a second grand jury or getting a special investigator without removing him from office first. You got to remove that fucking Bama from the picture before we even begin to try to reopen the case or bring in grand juries or bring in special prosecutors. He got to go. Daniel Cameron got to go first. And then we can reopen the case, and then we can see justice through. Because when it comes to murder, there's no statute of limitations when it comes to murder. All right? And, there's statute of limitations for rape. There's statute of limitations for, petty theft, all that other shit. But when it comes to murder, there's no statute of limitations. Period. These dudes flat out committed murder. These jurors literally told y'all what the play is. So if anything, I'm vindicated. That's right. I'm vindicated. Shout out to Real Facts TV Sports Debates and FYF Sports Debate. Yeah. That Bama needs to be prosecuted now. He needs to be prosecuted not now, but right now. This is, man. And then he got nerve to call himself, well, I need to get security. I need to have security because, there's people threatening my life and all that. I don't feel safe out in these streets. Pussy ass motherfucker. I mean, what's it going to take to get this? Man, if y'all in Kentucky, man, what the fuck y'all going to do about this shit? Huh? Y'all need to start putting pressure on these motherfucking Bammers to do their job, man. You know what I'm saying? Put pressure on these motherfuckers, man. Ain't need a grand jury to arrest Kenneth Walker. Ain't need a grand jury to arrest the fucking 87 people that was protesting outside his house. Ain't need a grand jury for that. Fuck you need a grand jury for when it comes to these fucking cops that literally broke the law. These cops out here raw and unadulterated broke the law, or you need a grand jury for that, right? Hold on, let me back up a second. Let me understand something here. Make sure that my high school diploma education understanding this, right? So you didn't need a grand jury to arrest Kendall Walker. You didn't need a grand jury to arrest the 87 people protesting outside your house. But you needed a grand jury to determine whether or not to bring charges against 3 white cops that used an illegal search warrant and killed somebody in the process, then tried to cover it up. That don't make sense to me. That don't make sense to me. That don't make sense to me at all when it comes to Daniel Cameron. You're fucking done. You're done. Don't even think about running for office. If you had any aspirations of running for anything, whether it be the Kentucky State Senate, Kentucky governor, hell, you might find your balls to be even big to call yourself being a presidential candidate in 2024. Forget it. You can kiss your political career goodbye. Put your head between your legs and kiss your ass goodbye, because you ain't going nowhere. As soon as your time is up, you can go back out there and swirl it with your wife, provided she don't leave you before then, and then you can live unhappily ever after. That's right. Smash the like, hit subscribe, man. This your boy. Scream at me. Woo!